going on? So, new video. Haven't really been doing a whole lot. I got a fancy Escalade engine cover for the old 57, so I put that on. Otherwise, I haven't really been doing much out here. It's been a bit of a lazy day. But what I do have to do now is clean the garage up a little bit. So I got helping a buddy out, so the next project's gonna be a bit of a unique one, but it's long. So I gotta move a few things out of the way to try and fit it in here, because I measured it. It'll touch the bay door and my workbench at the same time. So I'm hoping I can clean some junk out, move my drill press and stuff over, pull the toolbox out, put it on the side, and maybe if I kind of jackknife this thing in a little bit crooked, I'll have a little bit more room to get in there. So I gotta clean the car out. So I still got a bunch of junk in there, tools and stuff. And then this sucker's gonna sit back outside a little bit. So she got a little too pampered. Hopefully she's okay with that. So that's the plan. I'll get this all moved around, get the garage cleaned up, and bring it back. It's probably not gonna be for a couple hours though, because my buddy's gonna show up later tonight. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right. So the garage is opened up. Got myself space. Toolbox off on the side. So basically I got kind of one long bay. Slowly but surely I'm making my way around here cleaning this place up. So working out pretty good. My buddy Mike's coming over, drop this thing off. It's not gonna be a very exciting little project, but nothing else going on, so it'll keep me busy for the time being. So you'll see it right away. So here's the boring project. You guys have seen this in a couple of different videos, but basically it's just a generic, I think it's a 17-foot kind of car trailer. But my buddy Mike, he has kind of abused it and needs a little bit of love. So it needs brakes and wheel bearings and stuff like that. He actually, it's missing one wheel. Oh, this one's wore right out. He took this thing on a couple 1,000-kilometer road trip and it left him stranded, so he dragged it home and it sat behind his house for a while. So I'm gonna fix it up because it's good to have a front of the trailer in good shape. So he's bought some parts, springs, shackles. He's gonna get some brakes and stuff for it, and I'm just gonna kind of put it all together, maybe clean it up, give it a paint job, make it look a little nicer, and see how that goes. So I don't know, if that's something you guys are interested, let me know. Otherwise, it'll only be a one video thing. That's the last you'll ever see of it. But otherwise, pretty simple trailer. It's late. We got screwed around kind of talking and all that. But I'll be back at it tomorrow pulling this thing apart. We'll go from there. Alright, well, it's actually been a few days since I've been out in the garage. It's cold today. Matching flannel, or 2 layers anyways. So I haven't been out here much. We got a couple of dogs. One old dog got kind of sick, so I had to deal with that, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but such is life. So this trailer, it's my buddy Mike. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos. He gets the privilege of hauling all my junk home. And he actually just got a Suburban in Calgary. So Winnipeg to Calgary is probably a 12-hour drive. He got out there, he tows with a 1/2 ton, loaded a 3/4 ton Suburban on this flat deck with, I don't think he did a whole lot of pre-trip maintenance. So you can see this is one of the tires. The belt's hanging out of it. And surprisingly, he didn't make it that far home. And the trailer decided to fall apart. So I got it up on stands, I started taking it apart. I've never worked on a trailer, but how hard can it be? I gotta make sure this thing's in good shape for me, right? So this is what was left. This axle was actually strapped up because he drove it back from Calgary empty, with the wheel off and everything, the hub and all that missing. So the outer bearing, that's all that was left. I had to hammer it off. So I don't know what we're gonna do there, if the spindle is salvageable or not. But the problem was, it started smashing all these springs. So he put some blocks of wood in there with tape, duct tape, to get her home. So I think it was a bit of a bumpy ride. I think this back spring let go too, as you see was saying. But anyway, he picked up a bunch of parts for it. So I have those leafs, new leafs on it. He got new brakes, he got a new shackle kit, and he got a new, whatever this piece is, he got one of those with some hardware. So my plan tonight, I'm gonna start tearing this thing down. I mean, really, it's an old trailer, but once you put all brand new parts on, coat of paint, it'll look good as new, and you can haul junk for me again. I'm gonna force him into some new tires because I don't want to be on the side of the road with them. So yeah, clean these wheels up, paint those, go from there. So I'll start chopping this thing up. I mean, pretty simple. I've never worked on one, but like I said, it looks like it's just drum brakes on two axles. How hard can it be? Okay, so drums are both off. One fought me, one didn't. Story of my life. So the next step, so we got new leaves. So obviously that's gonna be this bolt to here. I believe he got a shackle kit, but he hasn't dropped it off yet. And whatever this little blah 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 is. So my plan is I'm gonna cut these U-bolts that hold the axle on, strap it down to the leaves, put them on just some jack stands underneath to hold it. Then I'm hoping I can just take out that bolt, that bolt, that bolt, and then the whole mess will come down suspension wise. I won't have to touch that at all. And then tomorrow he's going to drop off, because he has that, which I don't have. Obviously he still has it, and he's got, wow, these brakes are wore out. He's got new brakes. He actually bought backing plates and the whole deal. So I should actually, I'll probably take those off. I probably should do that. There's just 4 bolts on the back. I don't know if you'll see that. And then the whole brake mess will come right off. So maybe I'll do that actually before I start breaking it loose from the shackles. I might use an impact or something. Alright, I've been working away at it. So I've got this one side done. I mean, it's pretty simple. I'm sure you guys have seen me do this on everything else, but there's basically 4 bolts to hold the backing plate on. I use your little spring tool, take all the shoes off, which they were all wore right out. The springs, I mean, these things are just hammered. You can see the bushings are all worn right out of them. I had to cut the center one out. And so now the axle is just sitting on a couple of jack stands. And I don't know if I'm going to start the other side or not. But that's how it goes. And ultimately, I probably won't even film the other side because it's pretty boring. But I talked to my buddy there, so we got the shackles. Or we have the springs, we have the mounts. He got us a shackle kit for it. So that'd be like these pieces. And then the new little centerpiece. And he's got brand new brakes with mounting hardware and everything. So it should go back together real easy, because taking it apart has been a pain in the ass. But I think that's it for now. Okay guys, so it's the next day. My buddy Mike just left actually and dropped off a pile of parts. So where I left it yesterday, I had this all apart. I got the other side apart as well. I don't know if I showed you guys forever. Everything's all seized up and wore out, and the bushings are all mangled. Springs are all cracked. Everything was seized. So he ended up buying brand new brakes. We bought backing plates and everything. Worked out great for me. New drums, springs, a bunch of mounting hardware. So that's all good. This little hanger kit, which came with new ones of these because they were all mangled. There's new bushings in them. This goes between the 2 leaves. And he actually spent big money. I got a set of aluminum wheels. And I actually took these ones to work and cleaned them up, but we'll have some good spares now. So, and a bunch of new wiring. So we can get all wired up. Bearings. He really went to town on this thing, so it's going to be a brand new trailer. So I think what I'm going to do is I just want to put this one side together, just kind of see what it looks like tonight, and probably call it. I didn't do a whole lot. We started shooting the shit. I finished off the other side, and before you know it, the night's kind of already gone. But I'm thinking I just want to put it together, just make sure it's all going to fit, be happy. That way I'll hold the axle, because the axle's just sitting on these jack stands, so they twist real easy. Spin, so at least I can hold them in place. and I can work on the other side. Will be nice. So that's the plan for now. Well, I am doing a little monkeying around here and got everything together. So it's all just real loose. None of the nuts are tight or anything, but it seems to all work. So I'm going to go on the other side. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow, though. I think I've had enough for tonight. But the only thing that's going to be tight is the backing plates and then the U-bolts. And then what I'm going to do is take it off the jack stands from the frame and put it on stands for the on the axles before I tighten everything down. So I guess that's how you do bushings on cars. So that's how I'm going to do this. I don't know if you should do it with weight on it. Maybe I'll Google that. But ultimately, that's that. It's got brand new bearings. Obviously, I haven't greased them or nothing like that. But I will pack those tomorrow. And then, I mean, the races are already in the drums. Put it back on. Nut. Cotter pin. And that's it. So it's actually a pretty simple project. The pain in the ass was getting everything apart because it was so rusted and throw it together. So I'll do the other side tomorrow. I'll see how froggy I feel. I might get a can of paint, give it a quick paint job for them, and put these fancy new wheels on. And then, I don't know what we're going to do here. These fenders are all beat up, and I don't have any way to weld aluminum, so he might be getting some street sign patches. But that's it for tonight. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel right now, and we'll finish this thing up in the next couple of days. What's going on, dudes? So I left it yesterday, I think. This is all together, which it still is. And it's on the other side, except I haven't hung on the new backing plates, but all the shackles and all that kind of ugly work is done. So the next thing I'm going to do, I got some new bearings and a new seal. So do the classic, you know, grease in the palm of the hand, goosh it all in there, put it in. I got to drive that seal on the back side. I'll use my little seal driving kit. So you kind of pick one that'll fit, knock it in, and then put it on. And then the front bearing goes on, and then there's just, I got the old stuff here. It's gonna be a washer, then a little nut, put a cotter pin in, spin it, and it should be mint. So I'm hoping I can get that all on. So I'd like to get those 100% done on both sides, put the weight on the axles, and then I'll tighten everything up a little bit. Then once I do that, I went and got some, just some black paint. So let's give this thing a quick wire wheel, paint it black, put on the brand new fancy wheels, and then I gotta just run some wires for the brakes. But I should get this done today. Alright, so I've made a lot of progress. Everything is all tight. I've wired the brakes. Unfortunately, the back axle is different than the front axle. The front axle has your standard cotter pin nut, so it's all done. The back axle uses some sort of a goofy, where I put it, little locking washer thing, which I don't have, so I gotta get a couple of those tomorrow. This side, I don't think we can show you. This is the awkward side. But same thing. It's on, all ready to go. The whole reason this trailer went to shit was, I don't know if I showed you guys before, but the bearing spun. So I gotta clean that up, but I should be okay. And then I can just put the drum on that side. But again, this is actually the way it looks. So instead of having a cotter pin, I guess that little thing, washer fits in. You put the nut on, you kind of hammer it over. So get a couple of those, and I need another washer because this one let go. I guess all the parts went everywhere. So that's that. The next thing I'm going to do is kind of push everything up. I'm just going to hit the edge of the trailer real quick with like a flap wheel. And maybe lay down a little bit of paint. But it's getting late, so hopefully I can get this done tonight. Otherwise, I'll finish up tomorrow. So that's what it looks like now. I just kind of hit it with the grinder, as you guys saw, and it was dusty in here, rusty dust. But I just kind of got the junk off. We didn't go down to, you know, perfect bare metal. I got that trim clad, which is meant for covering rust up, which is perfect. I started doing this side, so you can already see. Looks pretty good. It's all shiny. It'll dull out as it dries, but I did that. Then it's around the back. Back's hammered up real good. He got stuck and bent it, so I'm sure I'll fix that in summertime. Well, yeah, that's good. So I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna finish the other side real quick, let it dry overnight, and then get those two pieces on the back. I should be able to put the fender back on. I gotta do something there. These fancy wheels will go on there. I don't know what I'm gonna do at the front. He painted it at one point. There's a lot of shit around there, so see how motivated I feel tomorrow. I'm not really feeling it tonight. I'm gonna finish the other side. Maybe I'll bring it back one more time, and then nappy time. Well, Danielle came home. She was gonna cook some pierogies, so while she was doing that, I stayed out in the garage. So I painted a little header there. Turned out pretty decent. I didn't touch the tongue because my buddy actually painted it not too long ago, so it's still in pretty decent shape. Got a bucket of water out. I just did the little part of the frame where it goes under, but it's still wet, so I'll do that tomorrow. I always get my little list of stuff I need. A little washer with a little locking tang. The front axle's 100% done. I can literally put the wheels on right now if I wanted to. The back's all I got to do, and then figure out what how I'm gonna fix this. Probably just a little street sign repair. Put that together. Clean all the other junk up. I gotta get some zip ties. I want to zip tie the wiring up a little nicer because it's all just kind of hanging. But really, a lot of progress tonight. So I don't know, hopefully this video is decent. I know it's a little bit boring, but kind of part of the hobby. You need to get one of these flat deck trailers to drag your junk home. In my experience, having a buddy with a truck and a trailer is way better than having it yourself. And now I know it's 100% safe to tow my junk home. So that's it for tonight. We'll be back at it tomorrow and finish the sucker off, I guess. Next day, picked up a few of these are, I guess, the locking tabs for the rear axle. So I should be able to bang that together. Just got a little bit of touch-up paint to do. Put the fender on, bolt the wheels on. It'll look like a real trailer. So I'm gonna get started on this. I hope I'm not gonna be out here forever. It's cold out and I don't really feel like being in the garage. So that done, zip tie some of these wires away. Yeah, wheels and tires on, fenders on. Get this thing out of here. Okay, trailer's down. I mounted up a couple of, well, I painted these and put the old tires back on. The one was junk, so he's got two spares now. It's all nicely painted. Looks good with these fancy wheels on it. I'm pretty happy with it. The other side, he has that fender. He took it off when he had that roadside repair. But overall, it's pretty good. So the paint's still kind of soft in certain spots. So I'm going to crank the heat, let it sit overnight, and then next time you guys see it will be tomorrow morning when he picks it up and drags it away. I'll be able to get a good view of it. So I got it Sunday, but then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I didn't do anything because I had that dog issue. So about 3 days, 2-3 days I spent on it once he had all the parts. And it's basically a brand newish trailer, so I'm happy with it. Hopefully he will be as well. Won't have any more issues. And maybe we'll test it out this weekend. We'll see what happens. Alright, next day. Had to get overnight. Still a few spots that are a little soft. But you know what? They'll freeze. And then they'll dry at some point. So my buddy Mike's on his way over. Hopefully pick this thing up and get it out of here because it's big. It's an albatross in here. I gotta get that cord out of there, but otherwise I think he'll bring the fender. Maybe I'll put that on real quick, hook up the lights. It'll be out of my hair for a little bit anyways. So you'll see it getting towed out. So there it is. So the garage looks damn fine. Now we're gonna immediately test it. We're gonna go to hot rod. So maybe we'll come back with something on it. You'll see that in the next video.